Hello everybody, Dan here. Welcome back to Daily Soap Dish. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below because we cover a ton of 90 Day Fiancé right here on the channel. Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about 90 Day Fiancé, The Single Life, and Chantel Everett. Now we haven't spoken about Chantel ever since the family Chantel ended, and that ended in a bit of a disaster with Pedro Jimeno. That relationship was a complete cluster mess, and this is why we're seeing Chantel come on The Single Life, because now that she's no longer with Pedro, she is no longer tied down by this massive anchor that is Pedro. She is free to let loose, and we've seen her let loose on the show, and a lot of people have reservations or criticism about how she is going about her single life, because on one hand, she's saying that she wants to kind of have, she wants to meet a guy that will, be better than Pedro, basically a guy that she can settle down with. And on the other hand, people are basically saying that she's acting like a massive tramp in Greece. And so how exactly do you juggle with those two pieces of information? We don't know. And also people are accusing Chantel of acting like a sex tourist, in her trips to Greece on The Single Life. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, because people are saying, this is the argument, people are saying that when it comes to the men, now I'm not saying that I necessarily agree with this or not, but this is what I'm reading. People are saying when it comes to the men, like Big Ed and, Mike and all these other guys, Gino and whatnot, we have no issues calling them sex tourists for what they do. And look, it's true. Big Ed was a sex tourist. When he went to meet with Rose, that was sex tourism. He's a guy that was basically 30 years older than her. And, he is not exactly a looker, and that's putting it mildly. And he got this girl. She was like 21. It was, she was so young. It was really creepy at the time. And the only reason for that is because, he's American and he could take advantage of the local girl in a poor country, Rose, that otherwise he would never have a chance at being with. And of course, Gino, it's the same thing. But in Gino's case, obviously, we know that the relationship at least is transactional. Gino is paying for Jasmine. She's a sugar baby. They've admitted to that, and we've spoken about that a billion times. Mike met Jimena on a camgirl website, so he kind of paid for her as well. But I think there were some sex tourism, things in that relationship. For sure, I don't think Jimena would have ever went with a guy like Mike if it wasn't for the American factor or the money factor. And so we're going to take a look about, Chantel, and see if she kind of fits into that category, because some people are saying that she is, and some people are saying that she's not. Before we do that, I just want to look at this article right here. And this deals with Chantel recently talking about Pedro and why she still resents him. This is has been such a toxic couple for the longest time. And Chantel is still not fully over Pedro. So what exactly is going on? 90 Day Fiancé Chantel Everett resents her ex-husband Pedro for stealing her best years of her life and wants to settle down and have kids with someone new like Giannis. Chantel reveals that Pedro's family hated her and wanted to use her for citizenship, causing problems in their relationship. Chantel is moving fast after her divorce and may consider moving to Greece to be with Giannis, but it remains to be seen if they will work out. Now, I will say that in my opinion, the way that she's been behaving in Greece, I don't know if that's the way that you meet a long-term partner. I don't know. You guys will let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. So, The Single Life star Chantel Everett revealed the single biggest way Pedro Jimeno ruined her life. Chantel is a 32-year-old from Atlanta who met Pedro, who's from the Dominican Republic, when they were both trying to learn each other's languages. The smitten Chantel brought Pedro to America on a K-1 visa to marry him. It was too late when Chantel realized Pedro's real intentions, even though her family always saw his true colors. Pedro divorced Chantel in May of 2022, and while it's been almost 2 years since their split, Chantel still resents her ex-husband. Now, in the preview for the next episode of The Single Life Season 4, Chantel is telling her new love interest, Giannis, about how Pedro left her broken when they broke up. Chantel asks Giannis what his expectations are out of a relationship. Well, obviously the ideal is to find someone you can settle down with, have family, have kids. He replies, Chantel wants to know if Giannis is interested in becoming a father. He says, I have to find the right person. And then Chantel reveals that she's interested in having babies too, but adds, I do have resentment for Pedro for stealing all of the best years away from me. Chantel is delighted to hear Giannis say that she's close to the person he has in his mind when he thinks of his right partner. While having babies is on Chantel's mind constantly, it's something that brings her a lot of anxiety, she admits. Time is against me. Chantel jokes that her eggs are going to be considered geriatric by the time she's 35, and she's already 32. Chantel tells the cameras, it's refreshing to hear Giannis wanting to settle down and have kids because that's all I want to do. And so, this is, we're going to see this play out between Chantel and Giannis. When Giannis asks her what went wrong between her and Pedro, she tells him that Pedro's family hated her from the day she met them. How can they hate you? You're so lovely, he asks. Chantel tells Giannis that Pedro's family wanted to use her for citizenship, and Giannis says that it's not good. Chantel then makes a shocking confession when she says that her ideal guy would be an orphan. Chantel is in Greece for a vacation with her friends where she met Giannis. Giannis is a soccer player who's never been married, unlike Chantel. Giannis has shown interest in Chantel. He was unfazed that she was married and divorced. Chantel went on a date with Giannis on The Single Life, which was seemingly awkward. Giannis, however, has told Chantel that he doesn't see himself living away from Greece. Chantel might be moving too fast after her divorce. She should have taken a backseat from dating, but is trying to rush into a new relationship. It remains to be seen if she will move to Greece to spend the rest of her life with Giannis. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat here, my opinion. Of course, she's not going to move to Greece. Come on, guys. She is not moving to Greece. She is going to be in Atlanta. And if Giannis does not want to move to Atlanta or be in the USA, this is not going to be a relationship that's going to work out. I'm not even sure that it's going to work out in general. But I was looking at this other article here. This was back from December, I think, as the Family Chantel was ending, basically. And, it kind of struck me that she said at the time that her relationship with Pedro wasn't even real, and it was all a lie. And like I said, guys, recently we've been going through some of these couples that, I feel, and I know a lot of you guys also feel, the relationships aren't even real. And so, I don't know, when somebody says the relationship was all a lie, it kind of strikes me a little bit. And so, you got to wonder if, her scenes on the current, show of The Single Life are even fully real, and just exactly what is going on. And we're going to get to that in just a second here. First, let's take a look at this Reddit post here, because I thought this was interesting and I thought this was well said. So, is Chantel a sex tourist for her behavior, going to Greece? Because, there is a difference between the way that Big Ed acts, and I think there's a number of factors that play into the whole sex tourist thing. Generally, obviously, this is normally a male that goes to a country and gets a woman, but of course, it can definitely work the other way around, and I think that we've seen some, woman sex tourists on the show. If I remember correctly, I forget her name now, but that lady that went to Belize a few seasons ago and then lost her mind. She was from Michigan. I don't know why I can't remember her name. That angle felt a little bit like a sex tourism angle. The Kimberly and Usman perhaps was a little bit of a sex tourism angle as well, because she was just so desperate for sex and basically demanded it and didn't stop bugging, Usman until she got it. There were some sex tourism elements there. Baby girl Lisa and Usman, similar. Perhaps Angela and Michael, I think there are some sex tourism things there, because would a guy like Michael ever have sex and be in a relationship with somebody like Angela if there was no green card or potential financial benefit of coming to America and all of that at some point? I don't think so. And so that to me is a sex tourism angle. Now, in the Chantel case, she's meeting these guys, she's out partying in Greece, and she's meeting these guys that, they're not like 20 years young. Well, they couldn't be 20 years younger because then they would be like 12 years old. So roughly around the same age, roughly same interests and whatnot. So I don't know if it's the same thing as the Angela, baby girl Lisa, Kimberly, that lady from Michigan that I don't know why her name escapes me right now. So let's see what this person says here. I don't think many would disagree that Chantel's thirstiness is painful to watch. Her return to the dating scene is awkward and cringy, as can be the case for a lot of people newly single after traumatic divorce breakup. Huge mistake to film any of this. I would say, guys, that I don't know if it's a mistake because you want to film, this is reality TV. You want to film the absolute trashiest, like straight down in the gutter scenes possible because that makes for the greatest TV. This is why TLC brought her on, because I'm sure she promised that she was going to go all out in Greece and just be crazy. She's like flashing her body parts. Like she really doesn't care. And a lot of people are kind of criticizing her for that because she's really going all out on that kind of behavior. So I think TLC loves that. I think reality TV generally thrives on that, whether you like that or not. It's just the way it is with reality TV. This person goes on to say, but a sex tourist, by definition, no. Google says sex tourism is the practice of traveling to another country to engage in sexual activity or relationships in exchange for money or lifestyle support. It's different from having casual sex with locals or fellow travelers. When you use the term sex tourism, by definition, it implies that the tourist is leveraging their economic status to lure an economically disadvantaged local into having sex with them, and that the local would not do so otherwise in the absence of financial or material gain. If you interpret the word sex tourist literally, you could assume that it means someone who travels to have sex only. No exchange of economic material benefit takes place. And that could apply to Chantel in this context, but that's not what sex tourism actually is. TLDR, Chantel's prime cringe, but she's not a sex tourist. So I think that mostly, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. However, someone in the comments brought up an interesting point, and I don't know if this changes the dynamic here, but Chantel isn't just a normal person. She is in Greece and she has camera crews. So in a way, she is able to provide clout, I guess, which is, we've spoken a lot about clout recently. It's the choice currency, of 2024. It's what everybody craves right now, and especially 90 Day Fiancé people. But, if you're somebody in Greece and you see this lady with all these camera crews and whatnot, would you be more willing to hook up with her because maybe you can get some clout? And would that constitute sex tourism? I'm not sure that it would, but some people are bringing that point up in here, which I think is also interesting. And this person goes on to say here, but she's not just having fun. She's not just going to a bar and having one-night stands. She's traveling 4 hours to the other side of the island just to talk to a guy about whether he could ever live in the U.S. She's trying to make her ex jealous. She's not simply letting loose and having fun. And then, of course, this person says she's filming a bunch of fake scenes for the show. And this person, I kind of wanted to go through this comment here. I would add just a little bit more subtlety to that definition, perhaps, and suggest that it's not just traveling with the intention of sex in exchange for money or support, but often with the intention of taking advantage of people by using the perception that the sex tourist could offer money or support due to the discrepancy in economic wealth between the host country and the tourist's home country. I'd argue that someone like Big Ed is a sex tourist even if he never paid Rose, because he traveled for the specific purpose of sex while taking advantage of the perception in the Philippines that our Americans can lift you out of poverty. I'd also say that Miss Debbie is a sex tourist for the same reason. Even though she acted shocked that Muhammad wanted to come to the United States, did she really think that he would have looked at her if she was an American? Someone like Kalani, on the other hand, is not a sex tourist because she did not travel specifically for the purpose of having sex, nor was the relationship predicated on the idea that she was going to bring Oswaldo to America or support him in any way. Both of them thought it was just supposed to be vacation sex. So really the difference between having sex while on vacation and being a sex tourist is power inequity. And I think that's fair for the most part. And of course, there's also the difference between Greece and the US. Greece being more of a Western country, obviously not as rich as the US, but, you know, being a little bit more on equal footing versus a country like the Philippines, which has extreme poverty. And so people would there, you know, I guess the logic is, and I'm sure obviously this is true, would be more willing to take an American like Big Ed with all of his shortcomings just because of that power inequity, like this person puts it right here. So, yeah, more people just, you know, talking about Chantel being a sex tourist. It's really gotten a lot of traction. And, you know, this person said the way she talked about explicitly looking for foreign men seemed kind of gross, especially with her and that 20-year-old. She's way too old for that. To be frank, sex tourism underlies far too many relationships in the 90 Day Fiancé universe, but it still seemed gross. So, like I said, I'm not sure that it's Chantel's case is, I think it's more just desperation than anything else. And it's not, like I said, it's not to me the same as Big Ed and, you know, some of those other people. I do agree that Debbie was also probably a sex tourist as well. There's tons. I mean, 90 Day Fiancé basically is a sex tourism show. Like 60 to 70% of, you know, of the show, that's basically the couples that you see. Huge age discrepancy and huge financial discrepancy between people. And so that's really what you see on the show. So some pictures of Chantel here in Greece, Santorini. So she had a blast there, obviously, as you guys can see on the show. And yeah, there you have it, guys. So what do you guys think after we went through all of that? Do you guys think, number one, do you think that Pedro stole Chantel's best years away from her? Or did Chantel do it herself? I mean, it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way, because Chantel made the decision to go with Pedro. And I mean, whether she knew that he was going to use her, or all of the accusations that she levied against him, whether she knew all of that or not, she should have at least kind of had a hint of it, and she should have perhaps made better decisions. So I don't know. You guys let me know if you think that Pedro stole her best years away from her, like she claims. And number two, do you think that Chantel is an sex tourist, like some people claim? Or do you think she's just being desperate after, you know, getting out of this marriage to Pedro, and she just needs to let loose? And this is, you know, this is not sex tourism. So you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did. Hit that subscribe button for more content right here on the channel. And I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.